Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Britain holds Igbo apology. Compensation for Biafra's destruction. Prof. Anya. Britain owes Igbo apology. Compensation for Biafra's destruction. Prof. Anya. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. Nigerian-born American lecturer Uju Anya has been in the eye of the storm since her tweet wishing the late Queen Elizabeth excruciating death. The professor of Second Language Acquisition, Department of Modern Languages, Carnegie Mellon University, United States of America tells Godfrey George she spoke from a place of deep pain and is unapologetic about her post. Were you born in Nigeria? First of all, I would love to say I am Ada Igbo, the first daughter of Igbo land. They cannot deny me my heritage because I am a lesbian. I am a child of Igbo land. I am of an Igbo fatherland. That is who I am. I don't disown them. They cannot disown me. I am also a child of Trinidad because my mother is from Trinidad. So I am African and Caribbean. I have lived in the United States for almost 40 years now. I have been here since 1986. I came here when I was 10 years old and I am now 46. So I also consider myself American. I am a very proud mother of two intelligent, loving and kind children, biologically, and I have one stepson. I am also a professor and academic researcher of language learning and multilingualism. Your tweet wishing the late Queen Elizabeth an excruciating death sparked outrage from many quarters around the world. Are you regretful you made the post? No, I am not. I have to be very honest with you. I am not. My tweet came from a place of deep pain and deep emotions. It was not something that I planned or calculated. It was spontaneous and was part of my emotional reaction to the impending death of my oppressor. It was spontaneous at the time. However, it is not something I regret or something that I will ever apologize for. I will rest, sleeping every night, knowing that I told the truth. You mentioned that your ancestors suffered in the Biafran War, for which you hold the British responsible. Can you give some details of the kind of experience your people went through? It was not just my ancestors, but also my immediate and living relatives. There were family members who died, but there are also people who are still alive today who survived the genocide. This is because this is a very recent history and a recent memory. The war ended in 1970 and many people who witnessed it are still alive today. I was born in 76 and I lived in the aftermath of the war. My family suffered and some died. It was traumatic. My parents are dead now, but I have siblings alive today who went through Biafran as children. They were under the age of 10. Our family also has a war baby. My mother was pregnant during the war and gave birth to my second oldest brother in Biafra. So, this is something that is extremely close to me, and it is in my personal existence, and in addition to the overall history of my family and the broader history of the Igbo people. What stories did your family members tell you about what they went through during the war? I am not claiming that I went through Biafra because I wasn't born yet then, but it didn't end in 1970. There were a lot of issues that we had to deal with. My childhood was filled with the reconstruction of war-torn buildings and sites and projects. My father was involved in such projects of reconstructions. When you think of people who went through the Holocaust, then you can imagine how traumatic it must have been. When I speak of Holocaust, I'm not speaking of the Jewish Holocaust, where we lost over 6 million people. Holocaust itself means a mass slaughter, and what happened to the Igbo Biafra was a massacre where more than 3 million people were killed. All my family dinner table conversations were always about who ran where, who took over where, who was buried where, who was lost, and where the displaced people went. When people survive genocide and mass displacement, there is always going to be that shadow or specter above surrounding everyone. To date, we are still mourning and talking about it. Ask any Igbo person, they are going to tell you that they are still affected by the war. This is something that is now a part of our legacy as a people. It was something that was done to us. This is something that the British did to us in the very beginning of how they orchestrated the division that caused the separatist movement or the formation of an independent country, and how they supported those who committed the genocide by giving them weapons and military vehicles, hiring mercenaries to come and kill the Igbo people, and giving the Nigerian soldiers bombs and military supplies, such as planes and whatever they needed to slaughter civilians. To my dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by the comment section